Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Raynell Moose Lodge this evening here in Raynell, West Virginia. My name is Matthew Thomas.
And I'm Roger Bennett.
And we're excited to get into this little Thursday edition of the Moose Lodge this evening. It is week 4. We're going into this season. So right now, Greenbrier West is sitting at 1-2 on the season. Unfortunately, a disappointing loss last week to Liberty, 27-14, and it was a big game that they needed, but unfortunately didn't score any points after the first 2 drives, Roger.
Yeah, that was very disappointing. Liberty was ready. Very similar styles of offense. Both teams have, actually. So it was just about what coach is going to dial up the right play and which defense is not going to be ready for that play. And I think Liberty did a really good job with that. Cavaliers hung in there. They never did quit. And I think that's what you want to see, especially in a young team, Matt.
Yes, exactly. And that's one thing that Liberty dominated in was the rushing game. Both teams obviously ran the ball more than they passed, but Liberty was only 1 for 8 passing the ball on Friday night, which is, it's an absolute killer, the fact that you hold a team to 1 for 8 passing and you still lose by 13 points.
Absolutely. And Greenbrier West had a lot better luck with the pass. I'm going to call it luck, but it was actually skill. One touchdown pass called back due to a penalty, which was kind of Cavaliers' Achilles' heel was penalties.
It was.
At Liberty. But, you know, all that aside, putting that in our rearview mirror, we're looking forward to Pocahontas County this week. The Warriors come to Charmco. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a great game. Warriors are coming in 0-3 on the season, am I right?
Yes, you're right, 0-3 on the season, but they've played some quality opponents as well. Meadowbridge being one of the top teams in the state. They played not this past week, but the week before, lost to them just 18-12. Not a super big offensive team as Pocahontas County, but they have a pretty good defense on their side, so nothing crazy on offense, but you're going to be seeing a lot of struggle from the Cavaliers, I suspect anyway. They're going to try to stop the Cavaliers in the run game, and they did have a couple teams run over them. Tucker County threw really well against them. They had a lot of yards of offense against them.
It was almost 500 yards, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was almost 500 yards of all-purpose. It was insane, Tucker County. I'm going to pull it up right here.
And the Warriors are no slouch. I definitely don't want the Cavaliers coming into this game thinking it's going to be a pushover game, because the Warriors are going to come to town and they're going to be ready to play some football. So Cavaliers got to step it up and not take this team lightly. That's my advice right out the gate.
They have to, and they really don't have much of a choice. And it was Sherman, the team that did so well against them. Their quarterback, Eli Pauley, the junior, he was 14 for 22 against them with 285 yards, and that's from Max Prep. So they actually have more passing yards against them than they did rushing yards, which in high school and single A, you don't typically see that very often.
No. Sounds like a very well-balanced team, and I would like to see the Cavaliers open up the passing game a little bit more.
Yes.
I think it's going to help them, especially down the stretch. Being a one-dimensional team is it's too easy to pick up on. It's too easy to defend. So you've got to spread the defense out. Make them respect your pass game, and then they'll have to respect the run game.
Exactly. And the good thing is for the Cavaliers, both quarterbacks that they have on their roster, which is Scott McClung and Colton Dunbar, both of them are over 6 foot tall. They are both big boys, and they can see over the line of scrimmage very easily.
Absolutely. And both of them have good throwing arms.
Yes, they do. And what's funny is Colton Dunbar had one pass to Scott McClung that was dropped for a touchdown pass, and then McClung threw that absolute laser to Colton Dunbar, which was later called back. So
that was a beautiful pass, threaded the needle. Everything was perfect on that play except for the laundry on the field. And unfortunately, it negates a great play. So everybody's kind of got to get their head on straight, think about their penalties, think about sacrificing what their emotions want them to do for the team. So you got to back up, hold off, push away, whatever you got to do to keep that penalty from happening. And then you have a lot better chance of winning a ball game when a great play doesn't get negated by a penalty.
Exactly. And one big thing I'm excited to see if the Cavaliers can do this a little bit better than what they did against Liberty. They did it super well against Summers County, but is stretch out the offense. They ran several pitch plays to Cameron Parker, all of them for 20-plus yards. And that was great to see, the fact that we were able to stretch out the offense and be able to get the Bobcats on their heels. That's exactly what they're going to be doing against the Warriors tomorrow evening. So we'll see what they can do. Mason Ward, look to him to have a huge impact in tomorrow's game. Not a super big guy, but he's got sure hands. If that ball's thrown in his area, he's going to catch it.
Yeah.
And also we have several other players such as Scott McClung, as we were mentioning earlier. I would expect to see him get some screen passes. They've utilized him all 3 games this year so far in that little screen pass where they've moved all the linemen and just thrown it right over the top with Dunbar.
Yeah.
It's a clever little play, so I think that's going to...
And you can't count Plogger out.
No, you can't.
Plogger is a shifty little guy, very quick.
Mm-hmm.
The Cavaliers have some depth when it comes to playmakers.
Yes, they are.
There's no shortage of playmakers. You just got to be able to get the ball in the hands of the playmaker in order for them to do their job.
Exactly.
Real quick, Matt, injury update.
Yes. So... yeah,
Ben Butler is the big question. Everybody's wanting to know about Ben Butler.
Yeah, Ben Butler has had injuries all 3 weeks this season. He had an injury week 1 and week 2 as well, which sidelined him for the rest of both those games, but he was good to go. This week, he suffered what we got an email this past week, and I believe it was the AC joint tear, something with his AC joint, and he's going to be out this week and probably for most of the rest of the season, which is a heartbreaker to the Cavaliers. Butler...
I just got in right before we sat down that he had a procedure done today, so it's looking like 6 to 8 weeks, which is very unfortunate for Butler.
Yes.
What a playmaker! What a guy that contributes to this team. Like, he is all over the field.
He really is. He's not only good on the offensive side of the ball. I believe this is off the top of my head. I believe he had 12 carries for 92 yards this past week. That's crazy good.
Yeah.
We're talking almost 9 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And then also on the defensive side of the ball as well, he led the team in tackles, I believe, 2 of the 3 weeks that he played.
Yep.
And that's him being injured half the time. So it's a real heartbreaking or big deal blower to the Cavaliers, but we'll see what they can do. They're going to have somebody that steps up. Like I say, I'm looking to see Cameron Parker step up within these next couple of days with Butler being out and also Emory Sanford as well. You haven't said his name as much this past couple weeks before, but this last week against Liberty, his name was called several times. Look for him to be an impact player this week.
And football is the next up sport, right?
Yes, it is.
So the guy goes down, next up, okay? The next
man
up guy
up.
may not be the starter, but you're going to get an opportunity to prove yourself and show that you're starter worthy at the varsity level. And it's a rare opportunity a lot of times. Guys don't get hurt all the time. You can't bank on that, but you have to be ready.
Yes.
When your number's called, you've got to be ready to go out and make a difference in the ball game. And I think there's several Cavaliers on this roster that will be able to fill them shoes.
Exactly. I completely agree. And also another injury update. Camden Sams, haven't spoke to him yet today, but to my knowledge, he is out for another 2 weeks is the last thing I heard. So out week 4 and week 5. Should be back week 6. But the good thing is
and his
he
was
did
a
kick.
collarbone, right?
Yes, his collarbone. He had the broken collarbone. And like I said, he's still going to be out this week. But the good thing is he was out there kicking last week against Liberty. So it was good to see him getting a little bit of playing time, even if it wasn't necessarily contact. But that's super good to see. Also, another injury on our injury report, Joe Sharp.
Yeah.
Joe, we miss you. Excited to see you back as soon as possible. And we miss you, Joe, our cameraman.
Get back here, Joe. We need you, buddy.
Yes, we do.
Somebody's got to keep Matthew reeled in, if you know what I mean.
I don't think that's possible, but if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Joe. But,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and get to the next little segment of our show, if you want to call that. We're going to get into a couple coach interviews and player interviews as well. So you guys stick around.
Who do you have lined up for that?
Who? Lined up for the coaching or players?
The coaching interview.
Coaching interview. We're going to see which one it is. We're going to have Mr. Tucker Gibson.
Mr. Gibson.
Let's do it. He made you good.
Come on
right in the middle, Coach. Oh. You all right, Coach?
I've worked in prison for 30 years. That didn't hurt me.
Yeah. The moose is loose. You knock your teeth loose.
You're stronger than the moose anyway, Coach. I'm not even worried about it.
No, we're good.
So, Coach.
You hear me? Test.
Yep.
Coach, I was going to say, super excited. Coach, first time I was getting to interview you this year. You excited to get into this week 4 matchup against Pocahontas County?
Absolutely. We need a big win. This is an opportunity. Anytime you play at home, our first game of the year at home, should have a good crowd out. We want to win.
So the home opener, I got to ask a question. What was the demeanor like this week at practice after last week?
Well, we had a couple pretty spirited practices. We lost a game we felt like we should have won. And anytime you do that, next week always seems like it matters more.
Yes.
And this is an opportunity to play at home in front of our fans more so than anywhere else.
Right.
And, we got after it a little bit this week.
So the home opener against Pocahontas County, they're coming to your field, to your house, and I'm sure there was some conversations about coming to our house this week, right?
Absolutely. We don't lose at home.
That's
we
what
don't
I'm
lose at
talking
home.
about.
That's I think in the last 3 years we've lost one game at home, and that was
That's
to
right.
Fort Fry, Ohio.
Yes.
Which is a powerhouse in
Yes.
Ohio.
Yes.
There's a reason why teams don't want to come to Charmco. We don't lose there.
That's right.
Well, I mean, we're not. Greenbrier West has never been a school that's going to let you come and stomp over the school. There's a reason there's pride at Greenbrier West. Every single one of the guys comes into the game, and you guys as coaches get them prepared every single week, regardless of whether we win or not. You guys get them prepared, and you get them ready to go for the next week. And that's so much easier said than done.
Well, when you go back all the way back to 1968, it's a culture at Greenbrier West.
Yes, it is.
And even when the football team isn't good, other coaches will tell you they come out of ball games, they're like, man, those are tough kids. They play hard, and you beat people up, and they're banged up. And it's a culture and it's a mentality in Charmco.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And so during practice this week, did you guys do anything different? Was there any adjustments without giving away your game plan?
Sure.
After coming off of last week's loss, obviously, there was probably some things you wanted to tweak, but without giving away your whole game scheme, practice probably looked a little different this week?
Well, for the most part, most of that was just cleaning up mental mistakes. Like we beat ourselves last week. We had 3 touchdowns called back on penalties and procedure calls. So it was really more about cleaning up what we do and refocusing and being who we really are as a football team. And if we do that, those 3 touchdowns are on the board and we win that football game. So
That's
it was
right.
more about us than anybody else.
Okay.
And that was one thing that really got me excited last week was we got to see our first couple of really big turnovers that really swung the momentum last week. Colton Dunbar having those 2 interceptions. One thing I would like to see us do this week is to be able to capitalize off of those turnovers. We didn't have a touchdown off of either one of those. So what is one thing you were telling the kids at practice to be able to get them ready and to make them capitalize off of those turnovers?
Down and distance, time. Be prepared mentally, knowing where you're supposed to be, being where you're supposed to be. We'd like a touchdown on special teams. We'd like one on defense. Just being mentally in the game, knowing down and distance and time. And, 3rd and 25. You think they're going to run the football, right?
Exactly.
Stuff like that, being prepared. That's all. Mental preparedness.
And that's what matters more than anything. So another thing I wanted to ask you as well. So obviously dealing with a couple of injuries, haven't had Camden for the last couple of weeks, and then Ben Butler, he's had to miss all 3 games, at least pieces of it, but this week he's not going to see the playing field at all, unfortunately, with that AC joint. What is one thing that you guys are trying to do to get guys like Emery Sanford, Cameron Parker, guys like that ready to go for this week, for them to get backup minutes, if you want to call it that?
It's in Charmco. It's the next guy up. It's the next kid up. Whether it be a freshman, a sophomore, doesn't matter. Next kid, we're going to play. We're going to show up every Friday night, play football. Next kid up. That's the mentality. We lose a guy, we hate it, but it's the next guy's turn.
Exactly.
Okay, so, of course, from a coach's standpoint, what do you know about Pocahontas County football that you had to prepare for, maybe adjust a little bit, because we don't know a whole lot about them. We looked on Max Preps, other than they've lost 3. There's really not a lot of stats or anything. So, I'm sure you've probably got some game film.
Yeah, of course. We have a lot of film. We probably watch more film as a coaching staff than most coaching staffs do. They've got a great head coach. Coach Burns is always, they're tough.
Yeah.
If you go back to last year, their physicality changed our season. We won that football game. Their physicality changed our season. We lost,
Isaac Agee.
We lost Isaac Agee, who was probably our best player at the time, and of course Potiker had to step up. But, them being physical changed our season.
Right.
And we ended up missing the playoffs, because of the things that happened after that game by losing our best players. So you can never take Pocahontas County for granted.
And I always ask this every week. Who's on your radar at Pocahontas County that is the biggest threat that they have that you really want to watch out for?
Well, number 5, our running back, is tough. He's a big kid. He's strong. He moves the pile. He runs hard every down. He's one of those kids that every coach in the state would love to have.
Right.
That's awesome.
So definitely got to take his legs out to stop him.
Very tough kid. Runs hard. Great pad level. Would love to have him. Every coach would love to have that kid.
Right.
So looking at our schedule for the rest of the season, obviously we've already played a really good schedule. We had Liberty was 0-2 to start out the season, but a good quality AA team. They're probably going to be in the middle of the pack. And then obviously Roane County, runners up in AA last year. Really, really good school. Liberty, that's a team and a school that you wanted to beat last week. What's the message that you're sending to the kids? I know you said that after a loss, obviously, the next week, you're telling the kids, hey, we got to be aware, we got to be ready for Pocahontas County. Pocahontas County has traditionally in the past not been quite as good, but they were really close against Meadowbridge, they're ranked in the top 5 in single A right now. So they lost 18-12 to Meadowbridge, or 18-12 to Meadowbridge. That was it, just by 6 points. What is the thing that you are telling the kids to make them not overlook this week, but tell them to be ready regardless of what happens and regardless of what Pocahontas County offers?
Well, you only play one Friday at a time, and the most important play is the next play, right? The most important game is the one we're playing this week, not next week, because we got to win this one. And we didn't take anything for granted last week. Procedurally, we made a lot of mistakes. And it hurt us. So, again, it was more about us cleaning up us as opposed to what someone else does. So that's just it. We're trying to win tomorrow night, and then we'll worry about man next week. So it's just one game at a time for us.
Yeah, and it starts with one snap at a time. Win every snap, you win every ball game, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that should be your goal.
And if you've ever watched Greenbrier West football, when it comes to the fourth quarter, we're in better shape than everybody else, and that's just the way we play. We prepare them that way, and the chips fall where they may.
Hard nose, run it down their throat, baby. That's what it is. Well, Coach, you got anything else I'd love to ask him, Roger? Good to go?
No, just go Cavaliers.
I appreciate it. Thank you, fellas.
Yes, sir,
we
Coach.
appreciate you.
It's Coach Gibson of the Cavaliers, everybody. Appreciate you, brother.
And there you heard it from Coach Gibson. It's next man up football, and they're going to play their best game tomorrow night against Pocahontas County in Charmco. So if Pocahontas County thinks they're going to come down here and get an easy win in Charmco, they better be ready, because the Cavaliers are ready to fight, it sounds like. They've had a great week of practice, a very spirited week of practice after the loss last week to Liberty. So looking forward to tomorrow night, Friday Night Lights, and the Warriors are coming to town.
Well, everybody, I got not only a football player, but a great wrestler for the Cavaliers as well. Mr. Colton Carruthers up at the table. Mr. Carruthers, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Doing great, man. So one thing coming in as one of the linemen here of the Cavaliers, what's one thing that you're telling the guys, because you lead by example more than anything else. You're a man of few words, but you tell the guys and you show through your strength as well that you're ready to go, starting at line last year as a freshman. So what's one thing as a sophomore that you're telling the guys to let's rock and roll this season, or rock and roll this game against Pocahontas County?
I'm really big with telling everyone to get mentally prepared, because I play a lot better whenever mentally focused.
Exactly.
If I'm in a good mood, I play better. If I'm in a bad mood, I don't play very good. So I'm really good with supporting people, patting them on the shoulder, tell them if they mess up, tell them we'll get them next time. Mm-hmm. So I'm really big with keeping people straight and keeping their head right.
Game is won and lost at the line. That's
Yes,
really
sir.
all there is to it.
They call it the trenches, don't they?
Yes.
That's where the fighting happens. It absolutely starts at the line, and if you can't make the hole you need to make and push the guy the way you need to push him, then it doesn't matter how good your back is generally.
Sir.
So you guys are protectors of the quarterback, protectors of your backs, and map makers for your back, because you've got to make that hole for them to be able to navigate through, right?
That's exactly right.
So many times the line's overlooked, but I've always preached everywhere I've coached that is the most important piece of the football puzzle is that line. You can have a mediocre back. If your line does a great job, he's going to get first downs, right?
Sure.
Yes, he is.
But if your line's not doing their job, you can have an awesome back, and he's going to get smothered in the backfield every time. So my hat's off to you guys, because it actually really, really, truly starts with the line.
Thank you, sir.
Right? That is the foundation of the team. So daggone it, you guys are tough.
No, they 100% are. And unless if you have anything to comment off of what he just said or anything crazy.
I mean,
pretty much
everyone's pretty tough. They're tough.
Because the reason why is because one thing I'm going to ask you, this is going to be a little bit more of a long-winded answer for you. So one thing after dealing with injuries, especially at the running back position with Ben Butler being out this week and you guys being the line trying to help guys like Emery Sanford, Cameron Parker step up into that role, what is one thing that you guys are telling each other this week to help each other get ready? Because obviously there's going to be a little bit of controversy inside of the locker room. There's going to be people arguing and fussing a little bit. What is one thing that you're doing to bring that to a minimum as much as possible?
Like I said, just keeping your head straight. If your head's straight, you don't get in arguments. And with injuries and things like that, like he said, you could have a mediocre running back. If someone gets injured, obviously the ranking goes down. Like on paper, your running back's not as good as you go down the depth chart.
Exactly.
So, like you said, if you have a mediocre running back, block good, get good yardage. So that's how I see it.
That's important, too, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. As long as your ranking is good enough at the end of the season to put you into the postseason berth, that's all matters. It don't matter if you're 16 seed, don't matter if you're first seed. At the end of the day, you get a chance to go to Charleston, and that's what matters.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and like you were saying, that when you have a running back that gets injured, okay, then you guys got to step your game up as well as the next guy up has to step up and try to fill that role. So, especially a back that may not have as many carries, may not have the experience that the back that got injured, you guys kind of got to carry him and guide him and maybe do a little extra push, you know what I mean, to get that hole opened up for him. But like you said, it's Cavalier football. Next man up, right? If a lineman goes down, next man up. You guys that have been on the line have got to kind of, hey, this is what you do here, this is what you do here, right? So it's everybody helping everybody. And that's one thing I like about Cavalier football is the team culture, how everybody helps everybody and nobody roots just for themselves. It's a team, right? And there's no I in team. So that's one thing I love about watching these games in the Greenbrier West. These guys, you guys have such a camaraderie, such a love for each other, and you can take a mediocre team, and when that team comes together and has the team culture that you guys have, great things can happen. And just because you've lost 2 games so far, that does not determine your season in any stretch of the imagination. Am I right?
Sir.
You just fight harder and you fight harder and you fight. You don't give up.
You literally played a runner-up state champion 2 games ago or 3 games ago.
Yeah, the season opener against Roane County.
Yes.
For love of Pete, they're like a well-oiled machine, aren't they? But you guys didn't quit. And that's what I saw was there was no quit in you. And that's what I love about it, the grit, the determination of the Cavalier football.
So, well, Carruthers, I appreciate you for talking to us this afternoon. I'm going to ask you one more thing. If you could tell everybody one thing that they can look to or forward to Cavalier football the rest of the season, whether it is a little bit to do about y'all's grit, something you guys are saying to each other in the locker room, what is it, man? Let them have it.
Exciting games. It's always a dogfight out there. It's never – there's rarely ever a point in the game where you're like, oh, well, they've already won. It's always a dogfight. There's always something to look forward to. And it always keeps you at the edge of your seat.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The Warriors are coming. They're coming to your backyard. They're coming to your house.
We're ready for them.
What do you got to say to the Warriors out there?
Coming into our house.
I love it. Well, Roger, we also need to figure out your weekly name for the Warriors.
Well, the Warriors is going to be a tribe.
Just a tribal Warriors, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's just going to have to be a whole tribe of Warriors. If there's a bunch of them get in on the tackle, right, it's a tribe. There's been gaggles and gangs and everything this week, but the Warriors, we got to call it a tribe of Warriors, and I think they would be honored with that also. So I think it's going to be a great game.
It will be.
And, the Warriors better be ready to play all 4 quarters, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you guys are bound and determined to play all 4 quarters.
Hopefully we can close them out by the second, though. We'll see how it goes. Alrighty. Well, this is Colton Carruthers here, lineman and sophomore for the Greenbrier West Cavaliers. Carruthers, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for giving us a little bit of
Thank you for
time.
having me up here.
Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
And go Cavaliers.
Okay, let's do it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Gotcha.
So that was Colton Carruthers, lineman for the Cavaliers. A man of few words, but when he speaks, it's powerful. He means what he says.
It really is. And one thing that's really important for these group of guys to get ready for this week is to ignore their record. Every single game, every single week, go 1-0.
Yeah.
Go 1-0. Because at the end of the day, if we win the rest of the schedule, you're 8-2. You're making it into the playoffs regardless.
Right.
You're probably going to have to get 6 wins to make it into the postseason. And obviously, it stinks to lose to Liberty. But the door's wide open.
Yep.
You have to take care of teams like Pocahontas County, and you need to win the games that you're supposed to win. And it really comes down to how we play for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from your miscues, and you try to clean it up. Like Coach said, you just 1 week at a time, one play at a time, and you can win a ball game, you can win a season, right?
That's exactly right.
That's what they got to do. It's got to put one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward. You don't back up and you don't quit. Not in this game.
No, you don't. And the thing is, too, with the team that they're going to play this week, Pocahontas County has been one of those teams that has really struggled over the past couple of years. But if you look at what their scouting report is and you look, even though they're 0-3, they played really good against Meadowbridge. I know they got beat real bad by Sherman. I know they got beat real bad by Tucker County. Both of those teams are really good teams.
Quality
Sherman's
teams.
got a really good passing offense, as we saw earlier, 285 yards over the air. And then Tucker County, they're one of the better teams in single A as well. I believe I think they were a 5 seed last year in single A playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're a team to be reckoned with. They're not a team that's going to get ran over. So, yeah. I mean,
none of the teams they've played were lay-down teams.
No, they weren't.
I don't think you can take Pocahontas County lightly. They're looking for their first win for the season, and they're wanting to do it in Charmco. But the Cavaliers have different plans.
Exactly. Well, Roger, I think that's pretty much it to go for this episode of our little podcast at the Moose Lodge.
And we want to say thank you so much to the Moose Lodge. What these guys do for these players is unbelievable. What they do in the community is unbelievable. If you're not a member, consider it.
Absolutely.
If you don't want to do a membership, you want to make a donation, to the Moose Lodge. They will make every dollar count in the community with the teams, with people in need. God, what a venue this is. What an amazing thing they do for these kids and the camaraderie it builds with them being able to break bread together. It's
Exactly.
amazing.
And everybody talks about how young men, young ladies, whatever the case may be, everybody talks about how these teams and how all these young men need to grow up and how they need to be better guys and be ready for the real world. This is one way to do that.
Oh, yeah.
If you are telling kids and showing kids that, hey, we're here for you, and you're not only saying it, but you're showing it by giving them food right before they go to play on Friday night, that means so much to them. It teaches them that, hey, people are giving back to me.
Yep.
Let me give it back in the real world you're in the real world in school, but you know what I mean. Whenever you go to get a job, you're going to help your coworkers out more. You're going to take that extra step. Instead of giving 100% of your job, you're going to give 110%. That's how it is.
And anywhere you work, when you have team building things like the Moose Lodge and the different things that the team does together, when you got into the workforce, right? You're in a part of just a different type of team.
Yes, you are.
So you're going to be a team player there, and that's what employers are looking for. Somebody that's a team player that's going to contribute no matter what. And I think that's one of the things they do here at Greenbrier West is not only get these boys ready for football, but into basketball and softball, all the other sports. They're getting them ready for life also. There's life lessons being taught here that other schools really overlook. And it's a brotherhood here, a sisterhood here, like no other I've seen.
It really is. And to go ahead and we'll finish out with the podcast, I'll say this one last thing before we jump off the air. If you are considering really giving Greenbrier West a shot, give Greenbrier West a shot. This school, regardless of whatever things they go through, they're doing great under administrators. Our principal, Hillary Burns, she's doing a great job, as well as with Catherine Hudson Pillard, assistant principal. They're doing a great job leading the school over the past 2 years, and they're going to continue to do great things as well. So if you're considering bringing your kid to Greenbrier West, it's going to be a major important thing, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for Greenbrier West, not only in the football, but across the whole entire academics and school as well.
Oh, yeah. And I want to say that home opener.
Yes.
We want to see the student section
Riled up,
absolutely
baby.
rocking, supporting this football team against the Warriors. So they're going to need all the cheering they can get. The coaches are going to coach their rear end off. The players are going to play their rear end off. Guys, y'all got to show up and cheer your rear end off for these players.
I can promise you this right now. I will not feel one bit embarrassed if I have to get up from the table that me and Roger are sitting at, and I have to go pick everybody up from the student section and make you scream. I will do it. I promise.
I guess I'll be by myself, but hey, he'll be cheering.
Yes.
So one of the biggest cheerleaders Greenbrier West has is Matthew. So, guys, come out.
I'll be at the table, though.
Support your team. If you can't come out, Greenbrier Valley Channel, Facebook,
YouTube, Roku. If you think of a platform, it's on there.
Yeah. Come out and support your team if you can at all. If not, we are going to be streaming live, and maybe we'll say a couple things to make you laugh during the game.
Yes.
If I have to, I'll play a couple practical jokes on Matthew. Whatever it takes to get you guys excited, we will do it.
Yeah. Well, one last thing to do before we jump off of here, guys. I want to go ahead and give a little quick shout-out to our sponsors, Randall Medical Center, excellent healthcare right at home, Park Center Sporting Goods, Steve's Towing, I won't charge an arm or a leg. All I want is a tow, RT Rogers Oil Company, Tattered and Worn Antique Mall located in Lewisburg, and then Stevens Automotive in Lewisburg with associates Cale Ward, Eddie Mitchell, Eric Workman, Chase Barton, and Garrett Schaefer. And then, of course, the Moose Lodge.
The Moose Lodge, of course. We got to thank the Moose Lodge.
Yes.
And all of our sponsors that make it possible for us to do this broadcast and broadcast the games live for the people that can't get out. Guys, we thank you so much. And if you can do any business with any of these sponsors that you see on the commercials during our commercial breaks,
do it.
Give them a chance, guys.
Do it.
That's all they're asking. They contribute to these young men and women in the sports. Give a little back to them.
They help them out tremendously. So, guys, like he said, we can't appreciate or thank our sponsors enough for being able to help us do this. But, guys, this was week number 4 of the podcast here at the Moose Lodge. And, my name is Matthew Thomas.
And I'm Roger Bennett on the Greenbrier Valley Channel Sports Network. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you guys tomorrow, baby. Let's go.